Welcome to the show. We're live again, and I love that. I would love for more people to come online while I give them. And what do you think about this? Give me a reaction if you're here. What about posting in the reaction field a heart of your choice for your desire for union to indicate that you have it? And what about posting a flame emoticon or the word flame, perhaps, to indicate your desire for union? Union news. 4 ways to get your twin flame to answer. Twin flames inside the womb. The real twin flame work happens on the inside, and then it will guaranteed manifest outside. In this series of lives, I share about what that means for my union consciousness process to inspire you to find yours. It serves as the source for your daily twin flame news, or almost daily. Today on the show, we have 4 ways to get your twin flame to answer. Because I was like, yeah, that's what we want to know, isn't it? That's what everyone wants to know. How do I get them to reciprocate, to answer back, to not run away, to not have them block you on Facebook, to not have them stop answering you, to not lose them in the relationships in some sort of way, and to continue in the communication that works towards a real relationship, or to return to that communication in an enhanced way so that we feel good about it and it feels reciprocal and it feels like we're building something and it feels like we're really loving each other and it feels like we're actively engaged, both of us, and it feels connective. It feels like we're having real conversations, and that this conversation may deepen and extend and go towards more places and land in a real relationship, in a real relationship that you desire with your true twin flame, and rightly so. Because this is the basic desire of every human being, even though sometimes out of fear, people don't feel that yet. Or they sort of feel it, but then they press it away. They repress it. They push it away. Or they try to deny it. Or they have this longing that there must be something deeper, and they hope that, but they don't know what it is. So it seems like a pipe dream, and they don't do the work. They don't invest in the work because does it even exist? Is this possible? Well, the answer is yes. The answer is yes, but we can have a lot of compassion for the temporary situation that many people find themselves in, that maybe they have met their true twin flame. It's possible, for sure. Or they have someone they think is their twin flame at this moment, which is fine. And there's just this communication that is lacking, that stopped, that had an end to it, that you did not necessarily foresee or desire or want. And you feel like, can't we turn that around? Is there a way? Well, we're going to discuss that today. And I have 4 ways. So yeah, let's see later what those 4 ways are. But first, let's go to some beautiful deepening lessons for twin flames, for twin flame union, because that's what you want. And for twin flame union, you need twin flame union consciousness. What about that? That's what makes it happen. That's what brings you the building of the relationship, of the mission, of the family, the mission business, of the union friends group, of the resources that make you feel healthy and wealthy inside union together with your twin flame, because you do need resources, because we're working towards something that's physically present. Although it is indeed the case that the consciousness, the union consciousness, that really needs to be established inside you, and that's why you need to do the inner work. That's what makes it happen, that you can build, that you can have the family, that you can have the mission business, that all these physical things come forth out of the fact that you have the right consciousness state. So that's really the groundwork of what twin flame stuff entails. Although not many people will talk about it in that way, but it's really true. And that will make it actually come true, instead of a dream that maybe one day in a far future it will be so. That's what solidifies it in even an eternal way, in the joy that it is about, instead of that it will just break off next month and it will be painful too. What you hear all the time, what may be your experience or part of your twin flame experiences. They were also mine before I fully realized, made come true, the twin flame harmonious union consciousness state, inside which the most tremendous healing wave swept everything that was no longer needed away, so that a way was paved for me. A consciousness way was paved for me, so that I now can start to build with my true twin flame in the joy that it is supposed to be about. And that's for you too. I have seen that with my students. For me, it took me a couple decades to get there. For my first student that reached it completely, she took 5 years. We're getting shorter. And then I got students that reached it fully, 3 ones, within 6 months, and within 4 months and 4 days. Well, there you go. So what about that? We brought it back. It's able to be reached. The consciousness state that you need for twin flame success. We brought it back, that it is able to be reached in 4 months and 4 days. How amazing. And you can be part of that too. You can do it too. You can. If you step into the actual coaching behind the YouTube screen that I'm about, that I offer in very many ways that you can choose from. But what about this? On May the 1st, 2025, my grandest program option until now opens up. And that is going to be the group year course. It's going to be called Twin Flame Abundance Now. And you're invited to come join. I'm looking for 9 people that want to step in that group course. And every week we'll join the sacred circle online together to open our hearts and do twin flame inner work together. And the working is amplified enormously because we are in a group. And also we'll travel through 24 topics of daily life, of mission, of business, of health, of wealth, of energy, of spiritual healing, of twin flames every year. And they have theory in a workbook. And you can bring those daily life and union and mission topics on the union vibration, on the union level with that. And this is really my masterpiece, actually, that I'm for the first time completely 360 degrees open up for that group. And then that group can be your baseline. And maybe you also get some other stuff still, some individual work, the e-courses. That's going to be great to enhance your experience with that. But anyway, yeah, that's going to be possible. All right, let's see what we have in store today. The twin flame union consciousness wisdom of the day is, in truth, you are already in union and mission. But in the physical world, where you desire your results to enjoy them, you have to yet make come true that this truth is really true. That's the process. And isn't that what I just actually discussed? In my discussion of how it goes, and then I ended in, you can come, do it all, get it all for you, make it come true for you in the group course. But that's the process, in truth, in the core of your heart, you are already in union and in mission. It's already true. You could say maybe in consciousness, in union consciousness, what you're actually part of, sort of invisibly, secretly, quote unquote, part of, in truth, it's already true. You're already that. So what is the process that we need to go through? It is make come true that you really have that shift in your consciousness, and that shift in your consciousness really influences how you stand in the world, how you relate, how you behave and communicate as a person, how you work, how you relate to your body. And relate to their body, right? And relating with them, and relating to what you can build together in mission, etc., etc. That's the work. That's the work that we need to do. We already have it in truth, but now we need to make it come true. And the consciousness state is to be reached on the inner plane first, and then everything is birthed from that one. The physical thing, the manifested thing, the relationship, the union and mission, physicality, the mission business, the true abundance on earth is birthed from that consciousness state. And and then everything is in line, the truth that you are already in union and mission, and your consciousness is in line with that now. That's what that means, coming into the harmonious twin flame union consciousness state. That is union consciousness itself, which is also called Christ consciousness. That's the same. Isn't that interesting? And then the material world just will also be in line with that. So we just recreated this new sort of alignment, right? And you are at the right place to make that come true for yourself. I gained a lot of experience in all the difficulties that people can have on that journey, and there are solutions for them all. And you can just come in with us and come closer and work that all out, and it will be wonderful for you, and it will be beyond healing, and you'll be so happy and peaceful. The ACIM lesson of the day is 97. I am spirit. Today's idea identifies you with your one self. It accepts no split identity, nor tries to weave opposing factors into unity. It simply states the truth. Practice this truth today as often as you can, for it will bring your mind from conflict to the quiet fields of peace. No chill of fear can enter, for your mind has been absolved from madness, letting go illusions of a split identity. We state again the truth about yourself, the Holy Son of God who rests in you. Christ consciousness, the Holy Son of God, yourself, they're all the same. Whose mind has been restored to sanity. You are the Spirit lovingly endowed with all your Father's love and peace and joy. You are the Spirit which completes Himself and shares His function as Creator. He is with you always, as you are with Him. Today we try to bring reality still closer to your mind. Each time you practice, awareness is brought a little nearer at least. Sometimes 1,000 years or more are saved. The minutes which you give are multiplied over and over, for the miracle makes use of time, but is not ruled by it. Salvation is a miracle, the first and last, the first that is the last, for it is one. The complete lesson will be in the show notes, because I have a whole long document for you to read. These are the show notes, and every time I have a live show like this, I have show notes, and I post them for you to read them and be able to click on the sources and read further there on my Patreon. And Patreon is another website where you can become a member. And then when you become a member, a paying member, you can read the show notes, you can see the shows, you can have influence on the topics of the future shows. I want to know what you want me to talk about. I will post secret videos there. There's also pictures of things that I've said in the show. There's also going to be, well, maybe more. Who knows? You are really in the behind the scenes experience of the shows, of the live shows, the live streams. And I would love to see you there. You're supporting the fact that I make these for you so that you can often get a hint of, well, union consciousness and some beginnings of what to research for yourself or how to ponder things differently and meditate a little bit on the things I bring up and so on and so forth. So that's going to be on Patreon, the show notes, and it's patreon.com/PEJ@creativeuniverse, or go to the description box of the video and click the link. This ACIM lesson of the day, 97, I am spirit. I think this is so beautiful because we were already talking about that. You know, when I was talking about you need to go to your consciousness shift, and then you'll have, when you reach Harmonious Twin Flame Union, the consciousness state, the basics for everything twin flame that you want safely and securely, and you know that it is right and true what you're doing and having, and it's your true twin flame, and only then the door towards your true abundance opens, not with a false twin flame, not with someone that you only think is your twin flame, which may be a false twin flame. That's not when that door opens. That's not when your sacred resources will be presented to you by the divine itself, by life itself, by love itself. because that's the whole point of twin flames. It's really like the key to your abundance. And that comes in all ways. And often, first, we go through a period of receiving the abundance, well, first in our soul, in our union core, and then often first in our emotions, in our the healing of your trauma, perhaps the healing of your mental space, and then you're like cleansed and healed, and you'll feel so much better. I promise you that. It's like day and night, day and night. And that is already the top abundance. Oh boy, that is. That is so. That is so. But the rest also comes when you feel better, when your mental space is cleared, when your emotional space is cleared, when your psychological trauma has been released. A lot more can happen too. The physical thing can kick in, right? The the resources can start to come to you. The relationship can start to grow. I know that may be like, but that's what I want. I understand that's what you want. I'm just giving like a general order of stuff that often happens. Like the wave will first go through your feeling state, and then the resources and the relationship will change from that. But it's like one wave that comes out of the core of your union that is healed on the inside. And that's what it's about. So I was talking about that, and I said, like, so you need to reach union consciousness and stuff. And that is like an invisible thing that happens inside of you. I can't make anything else out of it. That's just what that is. I can't make it a visible thing. It is an invisible thing, but it's real nevertheless. And it actually has at its core this very thing. I am spirit. That's why it's an invisible thing that needs to happen first. And from that, the rest will come. I am spirit. And that's often a very different state of identity, of identifying, than what we thought ourselves to be beforehand. We thought that we were a body that was meeting this other person's body of the twin flame, and the bodies loved the bodies of each other, and that was great. And we kissed each other in the body, and that was awesome. But that's also the state where the twin flame like walks away again and doesn't talk to you anymore, and the communication stops. That has everything to do with that you still believe you are two bodies or one body, or your body and their body. And you're not yet at the union consciousness state, because then you know and you live this truth that you are spirit. And that's like a fundamental turned around approach to life, in a sense. And that really needs to influence you and like sort of be baked inside of you. And then it starts to influence everything that you do and are, and etc. That's like on a very fundamental level, like what happens or what needs to happen. You go from I am a body to I am spirit. I've said that a lot before, but it's just a very fundamental difference that makes everything work for twin flames. And I think it's a very concrete thing that we can still think about. Oh, that's a concrete difference, although it is fully in the invisible atmosphere because of that. Everyone has a body and started often as a child to identify with their own body. And we need to care for our body. So in that sense, that's fine. You are responsible for your vessel, for your body. You need to take care of it. So that's okay. We all do that. We all take responsibility for that, right? But the fundamental shift is, in truth, I am not the body, I'm spirit. that's like a very concrete, I don't know, I think everyone can sort of get into that, like, oh, that's different. Yeah. So that's awesome that we had that here in the lesson of today. Yeah, very core, very, very clear. So, and that I am spirit is the self. It is also the Holy Son of God, which is also the Holy Daughter of God. That's the same. It's just represented by the idea of the Son. And that's also the Christ is the same. That's the Holy Son of God. And we're all that, right? We're children of the Father, and the Father has the Father's love for us and peace and joy. That was in the text. Yeah. And that we have, each time you practice this new idea, awareness is brought a little nearer, at least. Sometimes 1,000 years or more are saved. Because when you go from the body to I am spirit, you make that shift, time falls away. You save time. So that's also what everyone wants on the twin flame journey. Think about it. You want it to go quicker. You want them to come back to you quick, right? You want them to come back to you now, not in 20 years when they're done with their current marriage. No, you want them to come back to you now, right? So that's also but that's also a part of that fundamental shift. I go from I'm a body towards I'm spirit, and I lose time. I save time. Time disappears out of the equation. It's like an immanent power that I'm entering. And that's where Harmonious Twin Flame Union lives. So there you go. Awesome, right? Awesome. So that's why this A Course in Miracles book is really beautiful. ACIM, A Course in Miracles. Because it just gives you so many hints of that shift that you need to make. That's why we read it. Yeah, awesome. Let's go to a segment from my own book. It's a paper book that is called Twin Flames Manifesting Your Abundant Life of Love. And you can get it on Amazon. And when I opened that book, as if it was an oracle, this little segment fell out. Let's read it. Business-oriented men can learn to discover their inner space and truth, then integrate it in their action. Creative women can learn to implement their earlier, not fully developed structuring qualities to participate in a deliberately set up economical exchange. However, this is just a mere starting point of what can be done. That is also sexist in a way, because it describes situations that are occurring often, but not necessarily so. It shows perhaps cultural cliches that are nevertheless often seen, but the opposite is strikingly enough also happening at the same time. Eventually, you will come to see that your divine masculine or divine feminine looking up to businessmen is merely your unresolved father issue with fatherly discipline while fatherly discipline is in fact your savior and guide. And your fear of female softness, your stagnated motherly energy, meant to nurture yourself in the first place. I have seen real life examples of all these archetypes, and it has become clear to me that people that are openly in the one end of this cliche are in a hidden way immersed in the other end of it. It is always both true, because when you are truly connected to your soul flow, there's no imbalance in these energies inside of you and outside of you. Spirituals can learn to become concrete in their actions, and so called sober professionals can learn how to count their soul in with what they do and don't do. The same applies here as said before. Yeah. So these are some entrances in some developments in the personal sense that can happen from this whole union consciousness shift that are often seen. You become creative, but you also, because you open to the soul, but you also become ordered because you open to the soul. Because the mother makes you nurtured in your creative power. And the father of God, like the mother God, father God, these are like the powers of God, the inner structure of God itself. The father God power will reach you too when you're in that consciousness shift. And they will make that you become more ordered and you're less chaotic in a sense, and you're more obeying to God's grand laws and stuff. And you're just becoming subject to both these powers. And when you have, a lot of need on the one side, then that may come to you. But then there's also a need to balance out with the other side. Suddenly that also comes into focus. And you're going to do that too. And it also has something to do, of course, with like people that come to me, because they can be like logic men, and then they learn more about the soul and the fact that they are a soul, but they also can be creative women. And then sometimes they actually need in the school, the Twin Flame school that is opening on May the 1st with a year group program, they actually need more of the order of the Father God. Even when feminism sort of has forbidden them to find that attractive. Often spiritually seen, that might just be exactly what they need. Very spiritual people that come to the school, the Twin Flame school, they might need to learn to be concrete in their actions and to make things come true in the flesh. But so-called sobered up professionals that find themselves very concrete and logic, they might just need to learn how to open up for the soft spiritual vortex of their inner world and integrate that into their beingness to make this all happen. So it's all, everything needs to come online. All these qualities need to come online. It depends where you stand, what is needed for you. But they all go back to divine qualities, and they will become available for you when you indeed do the actual twin flame inner work and go into the consciousness change we're talking about. Let's go to Oracle guidance from my own card deck, the Union and Mission cards. Let's see which card wants to come out. Oh, I pre-shuffled it, so we're just gonna take immediately the first card that sticks out. Because why not? Well, we have a whole sort of a sun with not rays, but like word as rays. To express what is unsaid, builder language Y, B 2.3. Let's go to the book. I will read that from the screen in a second. B 2.3. And the card has as title, Follow Your Own Story for Leadership. I will read you the union part, and the mission text of this card will be in the show notes on Patreon. Accepting yourself until the deeper layers, so including your unconscious, and should you want to call it your shadow, is the very basis of a rich life in freedom. It can take years before you embrace it and even fully experience in the first place. It can also be fulfilled in 1 second if you let the insight fully in at this very moment, depending on how much surrender you can accept at once, in the now. If we take the acceptance as yourself as the starting point, then there is respect. An important basic value of the soul. Following this route of respect, a new story appears that will be expressed in your life. Because now you follow what is on the bottom of your conscious and unconscious in every moment. And what you are there, each realization of it again. There's always one single option to choose that fits you best. Step by step, choice after choice, a new journey will be born in this way. And this journey is a story that becomes expressed by itself, and the language comes into being through it automatically, as it is a story unfolding. You are curious to the story, and this drives you forward. You take your social circle with you on the unfolding storyline, and these people turn out to be your twin flame and soul family. You desire to be motivated by who you truly are, and this is possible. Following your own leadership herein forms a self-motivating story. This makes the self-respect you exude, as well as the content of the story that you now also share, very magnetic. This is how your union and soul family order themselves around you in a natural way. That's awesome. Four ways to get your twin flame to answer, because you would like them to continue the conversation, unblock you on Facebook, to step deeper in the relationship instead of walking away. And you hope that that is possible, because who doesn't want that? Their true twin flame is the juiciest of people for uniquely you. And you've met them and you've had a conversation and it was beautiful. And you felt a love in your heart and the attraction was so great. But somehow something got in the way. Something came up that was upsetting. Something was shocking to them, or to you, or to both. And it was hard to immediately continue the conversation because some healing was called for. And the upset resulted in that the door became closed suddenly. You never thought about that option. You thought you would be forever talking with them. But yeah, they really went the other way. They didn't answer you anymore. And that took already days, weeks, months, maybe years. And you wonder, will it ever turn around this situation of non-communication. So let's look at 4 ways to get your twin flame to answer again, to turn the whole situation around. Because do you have that power to do something about that? Well, you are part of the union, an empowered, fully responsible part, just like them. So there's this whole, and there's you inside of it as a part of the whole. And you might stand up and become active and do something. Yeah, sounds actually logic that would need to influence the whole atmosphere inside that bubble of the union. And when it is your true twin flame, they're also part of it. So why wouldn't that influence them? Nothing is more logic than that it influences them too. Otherwise, it's not your twin flame, which doesn't need to be bad. It's just a revelation that it is not. And that means that your true twin flame is still out there waiting for you. And it will be them that will be your true partner. So don't you worry. There's always the true one out there for you. No matter if on the way you need to discover that this one was not it. That's okay too. Well, at least that's how you go to the true one, right? And the true one opens up the door for you towards your true abundance, towards the joy it is about, towards the resources that can start to flow to you, towards your true mission. That's only possible with the real twin flame. And not with a fantasy of a twin flame. That just doesn't do that. It absolutely doesn't. Maybe it brings you something. And one of the things that it will bring you is the lesson and the wisdom that will eventually make you go to your true twin flame. That happens a lot too, and that's fine. We can be grateful for the false twin flame about that. But really the true depth and the true abundance and the true divine love and joy and peace, they're all with the true twin flame. So keep on going and you'll arrive. And there they are. And now to get them to return to you, right? To return the communication to you, because who doesn't want a reciprocal relationship? We all want that. Nobody wants a one-sided relationship because it's not a relationship. So how to start that back up? Yeah, so you are part of the union. So it is very logic that you could do something, you can do something about it. Right? Otherwise, it's not your twin flame when they're not part of that union space where you are clearly a part of. So you're actually very empowered because you are part of the union, so you can influence the union space. That's the whole premise on which, well, I built my coaching business. I built the idea to talk to you about these topics. I built the idea that I can help you if you come to me behind the YouTube screen and actually step into the relationship with me and grant yourself the luxury of getting the services that I offer. All right, so let's see. I have a number 1 here, and that is, how do you get your twin flame to answer back to you, to return the communication again, what we all want? Now, we already established that you're part of the union, so you must have influence. And number 1 is actually, it is building on that, because it says do the twin flame inner work that includes the famous turnaround. So that's how you get your twin flame to answer again. You can do something about it. And what can you do about it? Do the twin flame inner work, which is not any idea of, let's do some meditation, just a little bit of this, a little bit of, maybe we just need a little bit of what the other person said and a little bit of, I don't know what, maybe just a little bit of journaling and a little bit of praying and I don't know. Maybe some psychological ideas and think about it a lot and many things. No. Sometimes these things can be good additions when you have the actual twin flame work down. Then, but only then. So, yeah, you really need to do the actual twin flame work and not all the other things. Or what other people say. The actual twin flame inner work you need to do. And that includes the famous turnaround. That's true. That's true. The true twin flame inner work is actually done with the key tool. It's 4 steps. We have 4 versions of them by now. And they all have 4 steps. And you need to identify what your feelings are and then work with them. And famously, you need to turn them around. Truly turn them around. So that's like the hallmark of true twin flame inner work, that there is a turnaround in it. That's what Divine Mother told me. 2011, I took a whole bunch of time, to assure myself that was really true, what Divine Mother told me. That was actually the divine tool. It took a long time because I was kind of stubborn. And eventually, I brought myself into the twin flame success, right? And then I brought my clients in the twin flame success with it too. And then it was like more than clear, that Divine Mother had been true, right, all the time. So the famous turnaround is in it. Well, we also have, part of the true twin flame inner work is the 9-point energy system because it supports that key tool. And the rest that is like derived from that in my tool set, that are just explained in my books, that are worked into my courses, e-courses, and a new course that starts on May the 1st. The Twin Flame Abundance Now group year course. You're invited. Yeah. So do the twin flame inner work that includes the famous turnaround. So that means that you might say they ended the communication. But essentially what that means is you need to be able to say, I need to do the turnaround, and then do it. So I ended the communication. I will just tell you immediately, just like that, that's what it comes down to. And you can see and research in your heart, in yourself, in your feelings, what that means to you. And that's where you repair it. 2, look into your own communication. Take responsibility for yourself. Well, I think that clarifies where we've arrived now in our discussion, isn't it? You're going to indeed look into your own communication. Are you healed there? Is that a place of coldness and pain inside of you? Then you may want to let the love flow into that place in you. That's where you are empowered to work. Do it. It's your twin flame, so it will influence them too. You take responsibility for yourself and for your part of the equation inside the union, bubble, let's say. And that influences the union bubble, and so it influences them too. You can do that. You do that. That's number 2. A way to get your twin flame to answer you again. 3. Make sure you subscribe to a place where the harmonious union energy is given. Yeah, because you can try to do all this twin flame inner work. Go to look up on my website and in our Facebook group called Your Abundance how the key tool functions, what are the 4 steps. Try to do them for yourself, write it down, start to feel it, start to do it. But if you don't do it in the embrace of a place where there is the harmonious union energy, then you might still miss the mark and not get the results you're aiming for to get your twin flame to answer. So please make sure to actually step behind the screen and come closer. Step into the actual world of my school, my Twin Flame school, my coaching. Avail yourself of those services. Maybe you want to start to come to the Facebook group called Your Abundance. Maybe you want to start to become a Patreon member actively. And then you grow deeper and you grow into more. You get thirsty and hungry for more. And then you get into private coaching, and maybe you step into the group year course Abundance Now, Twin Flame Abundance Now, that opens on May the 1st. So you start to make sure that you actually do it in relationship with a place where the harmonious union energy is. Otherwise, you might just be doing it too alone. And it is difficult to actually make come true this promise. 4, don't try to make them answer you, but instead focus on exuding the whole union energy fully yourself. Well, and isn't that the epitome of taking responsibility? You stand up, you heal yourself, you take responsibility for your side of the union equation, and it must influence them too. Don't try to manipulate them. Stop doing that. Don't try to manipulate them to answer you back. Give them space. Exude peace after you first healed your inner place. And then, from that peaceful result that you exude from your own heart, they will come back. I promise you. I choose now to explore the most complete depths of my being. I surrender my mind completely to God that He may bring it into perfect harmony with His. I invite God now into my very core, that He may make it right, returning it perfectly to its state of eternal wholeness. I trust in the power of divine love. I choose to see the truth that it is universally accepted by all. At the core of every child of God, including me, we're all one with our twin flames and God. It is safe for me to open completely to love now. My love is not elusive unless you command it so. But don't worry, you could not choose against love itself, because you are love itself, manifest as you eternally. If you command it to leave, love does not leave, because it cannot possibly leave. But you leave love by the power of your command. And by that same power, you can command yourself to return to love. And it is so revealing to you that love never left. It is safe to let go. It is safe to relax into love's eternal presence. Love is calling you home, and I'll be there waiting. I have always been here with you, and I always will be. Your next step. Don't forget to actually start the process and jump on the team. Actively come to our community, start doing the correct inner work, and ask the support you deserve through our services so that we can start a relationship that will lead you to harmonious union and beyond. When you're not in the relationship, you're not on the team, and you can't expect the results I'm speaking of and, in fact, guaranteeing. Currently, you are cordially invited to step into the group year course experience. This is the Twin Flame Mystery School you have been waiting for. I am looking for 9 people to step into this abundant opportunity. Twin Flame Abundance Now opens its doors on May the 1st. Start giving so that you can receive. The door closes as soon as I have my 9 people that will be successful in their journey. But first, we dance towards the opening of the door together. Join the launch of the Twin Flame Year Group Course of your dream. creativeuniverse.earth/abundance now launch, or go to the description box of the video and click the link. The show notes. You can, however, support this ongoing live Twin Flame news as such. Make it possible as co-creator. Without your participation and financial gifts, I cannot do anything because we need to have an energetic and verbal visual exchange for things to make sense and to know what I need to talk about for you. And also, we are on Earth, and that necessarily always works with money as a means to make sacred content actually physically flow. Therefore, I post the show notes in Patreon. Come over and enjoy, have influence on the broadcasts. Don't miss out on the behind the scenes experience. Patreon.com/PEJ at Creative Universe, or go to the description box and click the link. This month, the Patreon subscriber action is 12 weekly key sessions for Twin Flame development for €499 instead of the normal already favorable deal of €700, normal price €792. If you enjoyed this, maybe share this video with a friend. They might enjoy it too. I am Petra, in the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union since March 2020. Worked with the new Christ Masters on Earth right now to roll this consciousness state out so everyone can enjoy the abundant life with their true twin flame soon enough after going in with me right here. Don't search any further. You reached what you were looking for. Om. Amen.